You probably don't even need a microphone, but yeah. So Geshe's going to.
Would you please turn to page 27, and we'll start with the 7 limb prayer. 27. Gosum gupe gone chatselo ngsham yitu cheti malubu tomene saditun tam cheshak gepa gewanam la jeirang korwa matom badule june dola cheki kolo korwadam da jengenam janchu chen porngo turn to page 97. And we'll recite the short mandala offering at the bottom of the page. Saji perki Jushing metog tamri rabliji nikte gen badi sangye shindu mikte uwa yidro kunamdak shimla parshok jetsu lama dampa kyenam kichur kukala kense jujintrik jidat sampe dushetsima lajab kecherki sharpa wabdusur idam guru ratamadalakam niryatayami. Chudan soki chonam la janchu padu dani kapsuchi dagi chunyangi pesurnam gi dola penchu sangye tu pasho. Chudan soki chonam la janchu padu dani kapsuchi dagi chunyangi pesurnam gi dola penchu sangye tu pasho. Chudan soki chonam la janchu padu dani kapsuchi dagi chunyangi pesurnam gi dola penchu sangye tu pasho.
Good evening. Welcome back to the class. Here the question is how do we meditate on the death dissolution with the bodhicitta? I think just word bodhicitta is not enough to guide you into the bodhicitta meditations. Need more than that. Death dissolution process, you just need to be aware. You just need to be aware. Particular internal sign. Even though you don't remember every single external sign, that's okay. That doesn't matter. So be more aware of internal sign that you experience that usually people don't see, but you kind of feel. Even though it's not really happening, but you feel because of the dissolution process. So there's something to be aware. So then, beginning of the death, if you can meditate on bodhicitta, probably need to remember some instructions to guide you into the meditation of bodhicitta. So otherwise, there are if you remember some material by heart. So that thinking about doing meditation on bodhicitta at the time of death, that very much depend on now. If you are not familiar now, so then thinking something to do time of death is hard. It's not easy. If you are doing it in daily basis, if you are doing some meditation in daily basis on bodhicitta, so then you yourselves very familiar with that meditations. So then it becomes easier. The time of death easy to remember. So time of death, whatever practice that you are very familiar with while you are alive, the practice that you've been doing every day, so that's the kind of practice that you should count on time of death. Otherwise, if you're thinking to do something new, it is hard. It's hard. It's hard. So of course, you can be aware. So then the beginning of the death, you can think about bodhicitta. So thinking about bodhicitta, that is same as like meditation on bodhicitta. So that does not interrupt you to be aware of the internal sign. So internal sign, there's something to be aware that that's not actually happening. It's just you feel, and reality is not actually happening, because you feel, because there's like four elements dissolving. Because of that, you feel something internally. You feel something. Just to be aware. So then, that's why we're studying this death dissolution process. We are studying, hoping that we will be aware when this actual sign, internal sign happens. We'll be aware, so then we are not going to get scared or not see there's something like real. So then, of course, meditation on bodhicitta, that's a wonderful thought. So that's the best meditation you can do, time of death, meditate on bodhicitta. But that requires some, you need to be familiar with some instructions that guide you into the meditation of bodhicitta. Otherwise, just word bodhicitta probably does not help much. So there's like good information in the Lamrim part in Guru Puja. If you remember those lines by heart, so then you can go through them. If you can feel when you're going through them, if you feel something, that's wonderful. So then reciting mantra, doing prayers with a wandering mind, or even like Shantideva said, is not much benefit. Deje tane kadul kunus, Deje dan, deje means recitations, mantra recitation. Katul kun, all the practices. Deje dan, katul kun. Remember the rest of the word. Deje dan, katul kun. Deje dan, katul kun, yurin tisu, che changs. Been doing, reciting mantra, doing all kinds of practice, long period of time. Same thing if you're doing that while minds are wandering, so then not much benefit. So then remember, everything boils down on the mind. Everything boils down on the mind. Therefore, today dagi same dini leksung, leba sungwa chas. Today dagi same dini. Therefore, I should be more. I should. How is it? Same dini. Therefore, if everything boils down on the mind, therefore, if everything boils down on the mind, so I must guard my mind. I must guard my mind. Leksung. With mindfulness and introspections, with that two technique, mindfulness and introspections, that's how you guard your mind. Today the same thing in Lek Sung. You guard your mind with these two methods, mindfulness and introspections. Observation, whatever you call observation or introspection or analyzing. So then, first you guard your mind with these two techniques, mindfulness and the sometimes they go guarding alertness or introspections, observations. So that's how you guard your mind. So then after that you protect. First guard, then protect. Protects from deteriorations. Protect from deteriorations. Guard with these two methods, mindfulness and introspections. You guard your mind. So then after that you protect from deteriorations. The same thing. Leksung, lebar sung achas. Simsung tushu matobas. So you only need to practice that you only need to practice that guards your mind or protects your mind. You don't need all this many different kinds of practice that does not guard or protect your mind. Simsung tushu matoba, tushu mangu chichichas. Like the all form of other practice you may not need it if that doesn't guard or protect your mind, and those practice is not beneficial. You don't need to. You may not need to know them. So the only practice that you do is like that. Helps you to guard your mind and protects from the deteriorations. Simsung tushu madoba tushu mangbu jishi chas. Simsung tushu is the practice. Another way to say it, practice in Tibetan word. Tushu is practice. The practice that you do, that practice helps to guard your mind and protect your mind from the deteriorations. So that's the practice that you should focus then all the practices, that all form of practices that does not guard or protect your mind, no need to concern, no need to be concerned. Make sense? No need to be worried. So, if the reciting mantra, if that guards your mind, protects your mind from deteriorations, oh, good, very good. You must recite mantra. If it just becomes a part of tradition, oh, that's what I do, not much benefit. You do because somebody else do, and not much benefit. That's what I'm supposed to do because I'm Buddhist. Oh, that's good. This is this is the questions.
So I just want to make sure that I understand. By any practice that guards and protects your mind, it can be reciting mantras, like you said. How do you know that it protects and guards your mind? Because when your mind is disturbed and you engaged in that practice, your mind comes back and it's rooted, or remembers Buddha Dharma, or bodhicitta, or the laws of karma, or something like that. How do you know that? Just a few hints, I mean, I think I know. I just want to make sure that I'm
good.
choosing, from the practices I do, I'm choosing the one that has the biggest effect of guarding and protecting my mind. So what I can tell you that, for me, what guarding and protecting means, which is, it brings me, if it's disturbed, it brings me back to a more calm state, a more positive state, less fear, or anger, or whatever it is.
That's good.
So is that a that will be a practice, consider a practice that guards and protects your mind?
God means when the mind starts to wander,
Okay, yeah, okay,
then you bring it back. Then you are guarding,
okay,
guarding your mind.
okay.
Not guard. You're guarding your mind. But
Thank you.
you already guard your mind. Meanwhile, something happens and you are about to get angry or get jealous, pride, all of that. Then mind is, even though you guarded your mind, but mind starts to deteriorating. So you have to protect now mind from the deteriorations. To remind yourself, very purpose of doing this project is to develop your mind. So develop your mind, protect mind from the deteriorations. So then those are the kind of very beneficial practice. But every practice, that we do is beneficial. But most of the time, that mind is wandering. So then like mumbling some word, but mind is kind of wandering. But that's not as. That's why we don't feel anything. We don't. In order to feel, need to be, focus, mindful, what we do. So even though we are mindful, focus, there's always a risk. Mind might get deteriorate, or make your mind might get disturbed. So therefore, you have to protect. So, yeah. Only that. So that's the question for tonight. There's only one. So here, bodhicitta. If whoever asking this question, if you really want to do meditation on bodhicitta, don't rely on just word bodhicitta. That's not going to probably help much. You need some instructions.
I'm struggling a little bit, Geshe. Maybe it's the words, but part of the practice that we've had in class is what is self?
Oh,
And one of the questions that I arise at, and then I ask it again, what is that? Is, am I my mind?
oh,
And I'm not satisfied with that answer, that I'm my mind. And yet we're using the words now that I want to protect my mind from deterioration. So is it the idea that I'm just stuck on the word mind? Is the idea that you're speaking of now bigger than the small mind that I'm challenging is me?
yeah. So like, do you think that you are your mind?
Well, yeah, I don't think I'm my mind.
Mm.
But we're telling me in the practice here to protect my mind from deterioration. What am I protecting?
What are you protecting?
Yeah. If I don't believe I'm my mind, what am I protecting when I protect my mind from deterioration? I mean, this isn't just for me wordplay. I'm really struggling with this. I don't know what it is I'm protecting.
So
Is
like,
it consciousness? Is it
like when I say protecting your mind, so
Yeah.
you are saying that doesn't really make sense.
it does make sense, but I wasn't willing to stop there 6 weeks ago when we were discussing who do I think I am?
Oh.
And the question was, do you think you're your mind? And I'm saying to myself in that question, no, you can see me and you can't see my mind, so that can't be me. There's got to be something else beyond that.
Right, that's, we all agree that we are not our mind.
So what am I protecting if I'm protecting my mind from destruction here, basically, in this practice?
Do our mind get disturbed?
Yes.
Do my mind get disturbed? Can you say my mind?
Yes.
You see there's distinction between you and your mind? I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
asking.
No, I can
No,
say,
that's very good.
I can
It's
understand.
very good to debate.
Yeah,
It's very good to have
I
debate.
understand that
Oh.
my mind can get distracted.
Mm.
The question I have when my mind is distracted is, why do I think that's me? Why do I think I'm the
No,
mind
no,
that gets angry or distressed? Why am I thinking that's me? I'm trying in my own practice to not.
Why are you thinking that's you?
I'm trying not to.
So last time when we during the emptiness class,
Right.
we discussed that we are not our mind,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Oh, so Tom, say it again, like
So why if I believe that I'm not my mind, why am I protecting my mind from this destruction that happens during death?
Yeah, if we don't, I'm not talking about death. That's like not just about death. It's like generally, not a time of death. Generally, no, it's not time of death. Generally speaking, if we like say, when our mind starts to deteriorate, that brings more problems, right? Do you agree?
No.
Okay.
I would like my mind to deteriorate more so it wasn't such a problem for me. I'm being
Yeah, yeah.
serious.
Right.
Most of my problems
Right.
come from what I think my mind is thinking. I would like that to have less of a hold on me.
So do you want that mind to be peaceful or like just deteriorate?
I'd like it to go away sometimes, Geshe, truthfully.
But that unfortunately that's not the option. So like
Yeah.
we can separate our mind and ourselves. No, so that's not my choice there. So unfortunately, so
I think I'm just stuck on the words. When I was hearing it, it was kind of falling to
then
a
like
point where I wasn't.
tell me like what's the I'm not sure what's the best way to say in English. What's the best way to say in English?
I don't know.
So see that like the calm mind,
Right.
that's a good thing.
Yes.
So they should not get deteriorated. They should be protected.
So are we saying, I don't mean to,
Yeah.
but are we saying
No, that's
when the
very
mind
good.
is deteriorating,
Very
what
good.
it's doing is being filled with more distractions? Is that what we mean by deteriorating mind?
Now just go on. 1 second. When like say Just one second, one. One time. So that's important to maybe, that's why in the monastery, so you debate. So then out through the debate something will come out, so so there's nothing wrong with the debate here. Please don't think that like here in the West, like so debate is different than argument. Debate is not that argument. So there's when we debate, people are trying to find something that, or maybe trying to make the word sense to them, or meaning sense to them, so that's why you debate, even though it's been said in text. See, like when mind is calm, so you believe that, calm mind. So, yeah, we can achieve that through meditation, through thinking, through deeper thinking. We can enjoy different levels of calm mind. So that calm mind is much deeper than eye contact. We are not talking about five senses. We are not talking about deeper level. When that mind gets calm, so that calmness, there's no guarantee that calmness will last there a long time. That calmness could get disturbed, right? By getting jealous or getting angry. Clinging, yeah, clinging very tightly on something, or maybe fear, anxiety. There are many things. So now there's precious things to lose. There's precious things to lose because it doesn't come automatically. You work for that. There's precious things to lose. Now the question is how you are going to protect. Now does that make sense? It doesn't make sense protecting that calm mind. Does it make sense? So that's what it means, like protecting your mind. Means like it make 100% completely makes sense. We are not talking about protecting mind that thinks all the time, all kind of things, kind of like size there. If the water is very clean, it's kind of like kind of strew things up. Stir. How is it? Stir things up. Stir things up. That we are not talking about protecting that mind. That mind needs to go. That mind needs to be, like as the, so to control. So so that's exactly what I mean. Come here, like what Shantideva said. Another chapter, maybe the Guardian of this chapter, where they're like, Lama Tsongkhapa is Lama Tsongkhapa. Any kind of commitment, if someone wants to keep any kind of commitment, so that require Lama Tsongkhapa Rabdu Dim de Sem de Songs. That require, how is to so again, before I said that, I need to say one more thing. Guarding mind, protecting mind. You could say consciousness. You could say why we need to guard, because that mind is on the move. It's not still all the time. It's in the move. So we need to learn how to keep that mind still or focus. Otherwise, that mind is on the move, thinking probably 100 different things. So maybe protecting from thinking all kind of things, or maybe thinking all the time, protecting. What need to do? So that mind, you need to let that mind concentrate, focus, concentrate, using mantra, mani mantra or mani padme hum, mind focus. Ma, ni, meaning, focus with the visualizations. So then that's how you control, that's how you guard your mind. And during that period, next 5 minutes, your mind is not thinking, your mind is like trying to concentrate on this wonderful meaning that's good for you, good for everybody. So you're slowly training your mind. This slowly become better and better. Minute you say, "Oh, mane peme ho," mind's already focused. So then that's all about compassion. So then, so then when it's trying to get irritated, trying to get, I say, disturbed by remembering something, hearing something, smelling something, seeing something, then that focus needs to be more, need to be, require more effort, more, because more like more need to emphasize more, need more effort. So, simply langbo yen dawe, that's what that's what like guarding the mind. That's what it means. Makes sense now a little bit?
Yeah, I feel a little foolish because I made a mistake. And the
No,
mistake
no,
was,
no.
I did. When you said protect your mind from destruction, I immediately dropped back to protecting self. Oh, I'm sorry. I immediately thought, again, when you were saying that was protecting self, when yet that's my battle, is I understand that self is not mind. So it read to me when you were saying that, like, I need to protect what I think self is, but it was actually quite literal. You meant the calm mind. And that's where I made a mistake.
No, there's reason why people get confused. That's why we debate in the monastery. So we just debate like 5 minutes. Monastery, we debate every single day, 5 hours in the morning, 5 hours in the evening. So, so that that's not the. Sometimes like need more discussions, things to get clear out, more discussions.
Geshe, could it, along this discussion, or probably I was going to leave a note for you, but I was looking at His Holiness introduction to this in the text of this book, and he had a sentence where it says, "A person dies within a virtuous, non-virtuous, or neutral mind," and when I read that, I was struck by saying that a person dies within a mind that is neutral, or positive, or negative, as opposed when we usually say a person dies with a positive, negative, or neutral mind. And when I realized it, I realized that it really focuses on the mind as primary, and the person as what is dissolving, or the dissolution is of the physical, of the lesser or the conventional aspects of the self. And that, well,
no, the self is not dissolving, aggregates.
the part.
Your
the
aggregate selves that like selves
Right.
that depend on the aggregate, those aggregate is dissolving,
Right.
not the self.
No, I'm sorry, I
No.
misspoke that.
Isn't it?
Right. But I realized that if I was talking with a non-Buddhist, I would continue to use the term that say it's important and to die with a calm mind. But I really like the phrase of in thinking of it for myself as dying within a calm mind.
Isn't that same like dying with calm mind and dying within the calm mind?
I see it. To me, it seems very different.
Why? How?
It really, to me, it
Explain to me, like dying within calm mind, die with calm mind. What's the difference?
I just see that then the mind as or the consciousness as the important the emphasis, whereas if you say die with a calm mind, it's saying that I'm still focused on the self that with a calm, with a mind.
I think it doesn't matter, Patty, like which way you say it, doesn't matter. The bottom line is the same, even though you feel like the way it worded, if you feel different, but the bottom line, dying with calm mind, die within calm mind, I think it's pretty much same thing. Pretty much same thing. But you can think just one, you don't have to think both. It means same thing.
Yeah.
Even but don't need to use both words, maybe it means same. If you like to say dying with calm mind, that makes sense. That makes much more sense.
No, me dying within a calm mind makes more sense.
Yeah. So then,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much. I think, yeah, because my English is not that great. I can make distinguish. Like I thought it's the same thing. So. Oh yeah. Okay. So now we'll read the material. Okay. Oh, that's good discussions. Oh. So I think we finished. The first dissolution is complete now. Don't worry if you don't remember every single thing what we cover. No, so not worry. But at the same time, I'm not discouraging you to learn. I think the best if you learn all of that. That's the best. But if you cannot learn, don't remember, then not to worry. Not to worry. How is the? I don't believe that your next destination is decided based on whether you remember this thing or not. So that's not like if you remember those resolutions, there's possibilities that when you feel that like at the in the very end, so then there's a possibility you could introduce the mother light or the child light. That's possibility. But like you can say, people who don't remember the death resolution process, they are not going to have good death. That's not right thing to say. So this gives you, it creates you opportunities. That allows you to grab that opportunities to instantaneously liberate. So that's why, so and so then the first dissolution is complete now. So now the second one, I think internal sign, something to be think about, or internal sign. If you don't remember every like external sign, that doesn't matter. Internal sign. So then maybe into the class is not here, so then maybe I will explain this chakras and channels, so maybe you have some ideas, like get some idea. Maybe if some of you are good at putting into Garvik design, some kind of like visual, so then you are welcome to draw. So then in the future time, then we will have something to show to people. This Suji Pumbo said, there's like 5 aggregate, form aggregate, that's already dissolved. Now, feeling aggregate has a feeling aggregate, so now that's the one, so I will explain. So now internal sign, there's form aggregate dissolved with the 5 things, they dissolve together. Internal sign is like moving water, or like mirage, or like drizzling. No, there's something to be more mindful, even if you don't remember all of that. Oh. So this sobun timana chidas onje koji sawa dedu tanyam sumje luchiji minyong oh. Onje koji luchiji minyong sobun timana sobun tim sobu tumata so now what is the Hamula read what it says there?
After that, the five phenomena on the level of the aggregate of feelings dissolve simultaneously. When the aggregate of feelings dissolves, the external sign is that the body consciousness can no longer experience the pleasure, pain, and neutral feelings which accompany the sense consciousnesses.
Experiencing feeling physically, mentally. You understand? Experiencing feeling physically, mentally. Physically, like cold, heat, and like pain. There's many things. There's like physical. Experiencing joy, then like not pain in the body, like pain in the mind. And sometimes doesn't feel anything, it's just neutral, doesn't feel good or don't feel bad, it's just don't feel, it's just neutral, not feeling. And feeling something good, seeing something, not necessarily feeling here, so then when you so then when this has
when the aggregate of feelings dissolves, the external sign is that the body consciousness can no longer experience the pleasure, pain, and neutral feelings.
Makes sense? That makes sense? Makes sense? Oh yeah. Then if it makes sense, then we'll move on. Oh yeah. So no need to explain the word pleasure, unpleasure, neutral. No need to say just feeling. No longer like nyamzo mi lujiji, nyamzo mi nyongje. Yeah, so there's feeling can be experienced by mind or physical. There's only two ways. There's no third way to experience the feeling, physical or mental. So this time when the feeling area gets dissolved, so then they're no longer physically experience any of those three like feelings. You don't experience any feelings. So then
the basic wisdom of equality is explained to be an ordinary consciousness that recalls pleasure, pain, and neutral feelings as of one type, that is to say, as feeling.
So this has more details. Like now you remember, you remember good feeling, you remember bad feeling, you remember no feeling, you remember nothing to the body, you just mentally remember. Like you had this such a wonderful feeling, meeting someone, seeing someone, you have feeling, this like unpleasant feeling, seeing somebody, meeting somebody, talking to somebody, and there's neutral feeling, meeting somebody, talking to somebody, all of that. That's all now pretty much gone. There's more mental, just more mental, not fast on the physical. She did nyami she did so so rich to tembe shibala shejinje. so rich to tembe shiboji, te tembe chida so shiboji so the means. Not need to much worry about all these detailed explanations. The bottom line, you don't remember. You don't remember good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling. That sums up everything. No need to remember. No need to worry about that. All this elaborate description here. Then the dissolution of the water.
As an
So that's
external,
why this like elaborate explanation. If somebody asks, she didn't name me, she didn't. What is the equal? What's called equal?
the
Wisdom.
wisdom of equality.
Yeah. What is that? What is the wisdom? What is the wisdom of equality refers to? So then the description comes. So what you need to remember at that moment, there will be no memory of any feelings. Mentally, no feelings. So that's what you need to remember. If somebody asks, what is this wisdom of equality refers to, the word basic needs to be there, because this is identical. There's not authentic one. Authentic one belongs to the Buddhahood. So we don't have that. So this is identical. That's why the word basic equality of wisdom, what it refers to, so then the descriptions explains. What we need to remember, that moment, there's no memory of any feeling at all. That's because of the external sign of dissolution of that basic wisdom of equality. Okay. Then now, that Chui comes. So then now the dissolution of water element.
As an external sign of the dissolution of the water element, one's saliva, sweat,
There's something you see. There's something you see. Or kajuda, dulda, jinda, tada, kuana, sheje comes. Sheje comes. Kajuda. So you see when the person moves their tongue, you see almost like piece of like stone, like in the container, like crock, 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 like that. You hear that. Now you don't hear it, because there's a lot of water. When everything dries, when the tongues move a little bit, so then you hear this sound like something like some kind of like in the plastic container or something like that. Huh?
Like stones rattling.
Yeah, sounds like you hear that. Oh, the kajuda, dulda, shin, the tra, the koanam, shijekam, jishi. Also, that's the external sign that you see. Other people see. Other people see. Other people see. You feel. Other people see. You feel. You feel that your mouth is dry, and then you feel that. Then so now the second dissolutions, third one.
as an external sign of the dissolution of the ear sense power or faculty, one can no longer hear external or internal sounds.
So external sound, somebody make noise, that's called external sound. Internal sound, only the color. Sometimes you hear this. Sometimes ear pops. Sometimes there's like some kind of sound that you hear. So those sounds you don't hear. You no longer you hear those sounds. That's called internal sound. Ranji do that which is nangi udra, mijumosi udra. So this not that's one book has been written, not this separate, no, there's other books have been written about like if someone wants to study when the crow is cawing, so then there you can study that, what it means. The crow is making noise from the early morning, afternoon, eastern direction, east, north, south direction. So people study, there's whole books have been written about that. So from there you can tell or something. About dream. There's some books written about dream. And some books that's written about the chite, like the sign of death. So if you put your both fingers into your ear, if you don't hear this sound, that's the one say like sign of death is not very far. Kind of that. And sometimes people say that you see the black mark center of your tongue. That's another external sign, but there's no definite. There's some of them mentioned in that book. So only so that's why it's related to here. That book here, the internal sound you don't hear. So now when you put your both finger into your ear, you hear this sound. If you are not hearing this sound any longer, so there's another book, it says there's the sign of death. So now this one is more important. So now the internal sign.
The internal sign of the dissolution of these five is the dawning of an appearance like smoke, which is like blue puffs of smoke. It is similar to smoke billowing from a chimney in the midst of a mass of smoke.
So that when the smoke is coming from the chimney,
Yes.
something like that, something like that. Even though many things have been said there, it's like that, it's that smoke coming out of the chimney. Also, there's something to. If you don't have, if you worry that you are not going to remember all of that, just focus on the internal sign. Okay, internal sign. Oh, there's not many, so it's easy to remember that. Oh, la din tena din nangda so tuwa tabu she chawa tuwa chikbe chilne tugune tuwa junga tabu ngopo junga tabu nawa charo so. Oh yeah, so the smoke coming out of chimney. Oh. Not just chimney, so the train that run on like what do you call that? Yeah, steam like that with what they use? Coal, yeah. Train that run on coal. The engine, then when they start, you see same thing. But that time there's no train, so they probably do have chimneys, but they don't have train. So you can put it there, train too. So, but then, that's the now second dissolution is complete. So don't hope that you will remember everything that we explained here. So that if you really want to remember, so that requires further reading, in contemplation and reading. Okay. Oh, now out of 5 aggregate, form aggregate, feeding, so now the aggregate up.
Discrimination.
So now that dissolves with the 5 things. Oh. So now we start that. It's not like they dissolve sequentially, they dissolve simultaneously, 5 of those dissolve simultaneously, not just one by one, So timbe chida so chunga tunyam means simultaneously. Teni dijiji pumbu timbe chida so pamala so be nido so te meetings. Shidi so nido so ming so timbe shiva te timbe chida so pamala so be nido ming meetings. Yeah, so then Lamala, please read.
As an external sign of dissolution of the aggregate of discriminations, one no longer recalls the affairs of close persons, such as one's parents.
Read one more.
As an external sign of the dissolution of the aggregate of discriminations, one no longer recalls the affairs of...
I mean, read the second one.
The second one? The basic wisdom of analysis is explained to be an ordinary consciousness that is mindful of the individual names, purposes, and so forth of close persons. As a sign of its dissolution, one can no longer remember the names even of one's parents.
Because this is a little bit, I'm not sure, like in the text is been written like that. Name is easy to forget. sometimes you see somebody, you remember them, but you don't remember their name, but you remember the person. You know the person, but you don't know their name because you forget. So now here, it should be reversed. I think it should be reversed. I think, in my opinion, that first you forget names, then you forget who they are. So, what is saying that you don't know who they are, then after that you don't remember their names. So, in my opinion, first you forget names, then you forget who they are. So should be that good. But I'm not in the position to to make change here. So that's just my opinion. And maybe some other texts might have different order. So I will say, may come now the fire element.
An external sign.
Here nothing much to explain. So just will read.
Okay. As an external sign of the dissolution of the fire element, the warmth of the body diminishes, whereupon the capacity to digest food and drink is lost.
That's clear, right? It's clear, nothing to explain. May come to me, Chita to Luju, Yan Sadung, Ju Nibanyamja. Maybe it will come down there, but which part of the body you lose the heat first, which part of the body, from here or from there. So I think it's from the bottom of the body you lose heat losing heat start from the bottom of the body. So there's not here. Maybe it'll come down the later, but right now no need to discuss.
As an external sign of the dissolution of the nose faculty, the inhalation of wind, air, to the nose is weak, whereas the exhalation is strong and lengthy, and the breaths are as if piled one on top of the other.
People see, you experience. People see, you experience. That's very obvious sign. So probably you witness, I witnessed a number of times. So that furthermore,
as an external sign of the dissolution of the odors included within one's own continuum, one cannot smell any fragrant or unfragrant odors.
That's how. So now everything now slowly, like I said, getting weak and weak. Ability is like now finishing up, is exhausting. Nanda, so there's something to remember. Then I mean Nanda, so kanang tabu shejangcha simu meshio. Internal sign.
Okay. The internal sign of the dissolution of these five is the arising of an appearance called like fireflies. It is like burning red sparks seen within puffs of smoke rising from a chimney, or like red sparks on the soot on the bottom of a pan used for parching grain.
Yes, when the wood is burned, if you scratch the wood, then you see this spark, something like that. Then firefly, you here, you don't need to go far. You can see the firefly here and there. So there's something to be, if you can remember that. So there's something you experience that people don't see. You experience. Nada so Canada was simple measure the Washa Tuguni, Tuango people Juma, Tabu said the Meda, Massi Chapatabam, young of the Lange. Didn't you finish the reading that?
Yes, that's the end of the third dissolution.
Young of the Langas. Did they say anything about like roasting the barley?
Yeah, they say parching grain.
Huh?
It's
Parching?
parching grain. I guess that's roasting barley.
What is parching mean?
Same thing.
Oh, yeah, so probably, I'm not sure. Who translated that?
I think Jeffrey Hopkins.
Jeffrey Hopkins. Probably Jeffrey Hopkins never saw roasting grain. So, when you make Samba Tibetan food, you need to roast the barley. So when you make flour, then it's ready to eat. So that flour is going to be cooked. So what you do, so you go through the process like how to roast the grain. So you have this pan, cooking pan, round pan. So then you put there like fine sand and put a lot of fire there. So then the sand is so hot. The minute you put the barley there, it just pops up like popcorn. So then there's like some tools they use like mix with the sand. Then you see this spark. That's what it means. Oh, then I do yung be langa yung be lange jabji chapala meda maya yung want them now so no need to remember all this. Just remember firefly. T Jesuchi. So now out of 5 aggregate of form, aggregate of feeling, aggregate of discrimination. So now the fourth.
Okay. Let's see. The external sign of the dissolution of the aggregate of compositional factors is that one cannot perform physical actions such as moving about.
Composition of factors, so I'm not sure. I'm always not very, for me it doesn't make any sense, composition of factors. So maybe it's English word, maybe it makes sense to you. I'm not sure, like composition of decision word. What is the composition of factors? No, do you usually call that time is the composition factor? What do you call? If somebody asks, does time belongs to 5 aggregate or not?
I don't think so.
If you say no, that means time doesn't exist. According to Buddhist philosophy, anything that exists has to be part of one of the aggregates. So, person, week, day, month, year, time, all of that. Where that falls into, is there form aggregate? No. Is it feeling aggregate? No. It's like, then what is it? Discrimination? Is there discrimination aggregate? So time can discriminate. So now, is this consciousness? Is this consciousness? No. So now you have left with only one choice. This comes down to composition of factor. So there's a decision. Within that category, there's one with life force, like us. One without life force, such as time, day, year, month. So like that. So if you hear, when you hear the word compositional factor, if you get this idea, oh, there are something that exists beside this 4 aggregate, certain thing exists. Some of them have life force, some of them does not have life force. If you get that idea, so then that translation is okay. If you don't get that idea, so then there's translation. I don't know how to translate composition of factors, aggregate of composition of factors. Dujiji pungbo timbe chidala. Yeah, so now.
Let's see. The basic wisdom of achieving activities.
The first one, the aggregate of.
The external sign of the dissolution of the aggregate of compositional factors is that one cannot perform physical actions such as moving about.
So that, you experience, of course, everything that you experience plus somebody else see. Like, put your lift of your like hand drop, it just goes like there's no movement. 아니 제가 such me. Why? Because the earth element is already dissolved. The very reason that if somebody push here, you can push it back because the earth element, movement, the earth element, because of that we can hold on, we can move. When the earth element dissolves, that ability is pretty much gone. So then you probably remember, like when you lift up somebody's hand, if that person, then just go like that. There's no movement. That's what it means. Now the second.
The basic wisdom of achieving activities is explained to be a consciousness that recalls external worldly activities, purposes, and so forth of this and future lives, as well as how to achieve them.
No.
As an external sign of its dissolution, one is no longer mindful of these. As an external sign of the dissolution of the wind element, the 10 winds, the gross life-bearing windows, and so forth, shift from their own abodes to the heart, and the breath ceases to move in and out.
So therefore, maybe into the class, I will try all my best explain you this. Wind and channel, and the 3 main channel, and all of this plus 72,000 channels and 3 main channels, and energy. So I'll try to explain after the class, when we finish the class, and try. Then maybe some of you can probably draw. So that's what they're talking about now. This. Then because long come to be chida so songzu long. Choose. There's energy called wind, means energy. That's the word, literally translated word lung. That's energy. So that's what it called. Lunga de chida songzu lung chu. So right now it's not going to make any sense because you have no idea. So where it's located, so there's no ninga portion, ninga portion. So
As an external sign, as an external sign of the dissolution of the tongue faculty, the tongue becomes thick and short, and its root.
That you see that.
And its root turns blue.
That's something you can see is visible. You finished the first one. Before that.
About the dissolution of the wind element.
Yeah. So can you repeat that again, please?
Okay. As an external sign of the dissolution of the wind element, the 10 winds, the gross life-bearing wind, and so forth, shift from their abodes to the heart, and the breath ceases to move in and out.
Shift from their boat?
Yeah, shift from where they were to the heart.
Oh, yeah. Right. That now maybe I need to explain later, not now. Ranju did wrote it now into the second one, not after the tongue. After the tongue.
As an external sign of the dissolution of the tastes included within one's own continuum, one can no longer experience the 6 tastes: sweet, sour, bitter, astringent, pungent, and salty.
Root to so color. How many tastes out there? You have 6 tastes. Say it, 6 tastes. What is the 6 tastes? Ngawa the chua. Ngawa means sweet. Churwa. Churwa means like sour. Ngawa chua. kawa. So now what's the second one?
Third one is bitter,
Bitter, kawa, kawa. Then third one, fourth one,
astringent,
kawa. That's how come. Called kawa. Ani?
and then pungent and salty.
Wow. What was the jewel? Called the kawa. What was the jewel? Called the kawa. Sawa the next sawa. Sawa. Like what's the last one? Last two ones?
Salty,
Oh, sawa, Dani.
salty.
Then
That's it, that's the last one. Sweet, sour, bitter, astringent, pungent, and salty.
pungent. What is the pungent?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
No, no, how many tastes you have? How many tastes you know? How many tastes? Sweet, sour, bitter,
And salty.
salty.
And umami.
Huh?
Sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami.
Umami.
Umami. Not
What's the-
umami, take me home, but
You have only 5?
5.
Oh, yeah, that room, but so maybe. It's okay. It's not big deal. So I just wondering. Just not big deal. It's not important to know. So that's how we study. So like according to Buddhist philosophy, there are 6 different tastes. But you don't need to know. So that's not important. And take a little not to worry. Not to worry. So now, next one, Pamela.
Since at this point
You
the
want
body
to
sense power and touches must also dissolve, as an external sign of their dissolution, one can no longer experience any smoothness or roughness.
So now that's 5, 5. How many times? 5, 5. From aggregate, dissolve with the 5. Feeling aggregate, dissolve the 5. Then aggregate discrimination, dissolve with the 5.
And then the
Composition
compositional
effect, no,
factors.
dissolve with the 5. Huh?
Yeah. And
There's like 20 out of 25 cross, what do you call?
disillusions.
Yeah, out of 25 now 20 plus now. Time to make PowerPoint presentation. Trying to make the PowerPoint presentation of the dissolution process. Got the Luanda Reja team go, Luanda Reja team go be. So there's like Jitsani Rwata, Zazum Tsashi, Zana.
Do we do the internal sign?
Now read the internal sign,
Okay.
and we will count next Wednesday. They will count next Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Okay.
Next Wednesday. I don't want to create a lot of confusion here. Next Wednesday we'll count.
Okay.
All right. And then,
The internal sign of the dissolution of these 7 is the arising of an appearance called like a burning butter lamp. It is like the sputtering point of a butter lamp's flame when it is about to go out.
Oh yeah. So now the time so that butter lamp is like probably you never saw one butter lamp. Maybe you saw one. Yeah, but time you saw in India. Yeah, the time yeah probably tantra. There's a lot of them. Their lights. So that one when it's like about to extinguish, about how is it about
Extinguish, yeah.
about to
Extinguish.
extinguish. Then you know it's like go like flicker or did it. That's not that profound. It's not that profound to understand. So, Tia Juashi Namala, Nama the Jushin Nama Chimala, Tim Zuni, Juangame Rashi Navjik Tenji, Nuba Duni, Chimin Nuba, Sazon, Juangama Tim Shabaiji, Juangama Chimera, so mind such a treasure. Tim Shabe, Lungi Navjik Tenji, Nuba and Chulungi, Lungi Chulungi. Everything was so on. I mean, but Chimala, Pebata, Jews, and Shella, Sadango, Chudango, my knowledge, Shella read house. So now the read that rest the read, so then
Okay.
Yeah.
About the meaning of disillusion?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. With respect to how the former
There's just more explanations about the dissolutions, you know. No,
With respect to how the former elements
oh,
dissolve into the latter, the capacity of the wind associated with the former element
mm,
in the list of earth, water, fire, and wind
mm,
to act as a base of consciousness is withdrawn, and the capacity of a latter one to do so becomes more manifest.
oh,
This is called the dissolution of a
Oh.
former element into a latter one,
oh,
but it's not a case of one element's becoming of the nature of another.
oh, yeah, that makes sense now. That doesn't mean like one element become another element. It's like just what you said before, didn't it?
That earth dissolves into water means that the capacity of the earth wind to act as a basis of consciousness degenerates, whereupon the capacity of the water wind to act as a basis of consciousness becomes more manifest.
Mm.
Thus, since this is like a transference of the capacity of the former to the latter, it is said that earth dissolves into water, but it is not that ordinary earth dissolves into ordinary water. This applies to the other dissolutions as well.
Very good. So now we'll stop here. So then this Wednesday, no more Wednesday now.
Next Wednesday is Christmas,
Mm.
and the Wednesday after is New Year's, so
Yeah, so that's good. That's a good break. Good break. 2 weeks break. Good break. So then after that, it'll get little more complicated. So that's good. So please, if you are very interested to read, you know, so you can read. Not to worry if you don't remember all of that. Not to worry. Just the focus on the internal side. Just focus on the internal side. If you don't remember all of that, not to worry. As I mentioned, this creates the opportunity to, how is it, to introduce mother light to the child light. So that creates possibilities. That's why it's important to learn. It doesn't mean, oh, if you don't remember that, you are going to have terrible death. That's not true. That's not true. Not true. They only give you more opportunities to introduce. If you've been thinking about emptiness, that's like more like child light that you are kind of like practicing. So then, time of death, you experience that. Experience very strongly, very vividly. Experience that, you know, kind of like a light. That's called mother light. That every being experiences. Then you can, if you can introduce that to each other, so then maybe there's possibility that you could instantaneously liberate it. So that's the whole point. Does not mean, you know, or you are going to have like a bad death. It's not like that. Okay. Oh. So then I think that's a good way to stop. So then after that it gets a little bit complicated. So maybe I'm not sure. Before we read that, should I explain all this wind and channel chakras? Or maybe I have to think about it. Okay, I have to think about it. So make it more clear. Otherwise, no, that's probably we go confusion after confusion. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Turn to page 235 in the Gold Prayer Book, and let's read the general dedications.
Mm.
Kewa nyampa me payan, gone gondu pewa shok. Jampa po jita kempa dang, kudu zampo deyan de jingte. Teda kunji jesu la lo chi, kewa dida tanche rap tungo. Tusu shepe kewa tanche ki, ngawa gamla cho tunga pade. Dashe gewe tsawa di kunkya, samper chuchu rap tungo wagi. Dagi jine ne sagi pege wadi, tempando wa kula gampeda. Shepa jetsu lo sanja pei, tempe nimpo rindu selje sho. No, 244 and 245, the short long life prayers. Gandhira we korwe shinkamdi, pendande wa malu jinwene, chenre zigwan tenzin gatsoi, shape site batu tengyu chi. Shonu iye nalawan shotu, awatare tembara sopa, losan gewe de ton le peusho, shasha genge lama sowade. Tupsu chanjin jange gewe, tenzin kyom bewe, kunzu do potse. Choksum kuwele mun to do, padak so de je, kundu japten shok. Om taritu re soha, om taritu re soha. Om taritu re soha, om taritu re soha. Om taritu re soha, om taritu re soha. Om taritu re soha.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good night. Good night. So if I don't see you again Sunday or Saturday, so then I wish you the best holiday. Okay. Yeah.